Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Yes, I'm reading a lot these days, but there's also a lot of new and exciting content. So the thing I was most excited about in 1.19 snapshot was the reinforced Deepslate being movable and the potential to make a movable wizard cage that would be able to break any obsidian in its path. That would be of course interesting for World Eater or Quarry machines, because that's something we previously had to hand mine in order to not break our flying machines. It wasn't really a nice way around this, and with the wizard we could have done this. But quickly reality set in. First, some developers said it's actually not intended, that we can move this a completely blast resistant block, which is basically like a movable bedrock. And then I also quickly realized there's another weak point of the reinforced Deepslate. It's when you actually move it. So like any other block that can be moved, it's getting converted into a so-called block 36 while it's moving, which has blast resistance 0. So it can be blown up by TNT while moving, and even something as weak as a black skull, get the timing right, would be able to break those blocks as well. There we go. So the nice thing about those reinforced Deepslate wizard cages or bedrock cages is that any blue skull that the main head shoots out of, I always say boredom, if it doesn't have a valid target, gets immediately destroyed because it basically just explodes inside of the blast resistant blocks. So in case you would want to make a wizard cage where the wizard basically can't shoot any skulls out of, then you always have the issue if this happens in the wrong moment. So while the whole thing is moving, the reinforced Deepslate blocks are getting broken. It's a bit of a shame. I was working on an improved system where we don't have any supporting blocks below the wizard. So the idea was that we shave off one layer at a time. So if there's, doesn't matter if there's obsidian in the way or any other block, we would always shave off one layer. And then technically the next goal would be to push the wizard back, move him one block down, and shave off the next layer. So there's always obviously the issue that there might be some holes in the ground. So instead of having like making sure there's always supporting blocks, I just put the wizard on a boat here. So it's just barely on the edge of the boat and being held in place. One idea to get around this issue with the blocks not being blast resistant while being moved is using zerotics to push them forward, but obviously this would only work with one single block in front of a sticky piston. Everything else behind is just getting pushed the normal way. So you can imagine if this setup here wouldn't help much if you only push those blocks here forward. And yeah, right now I think it's definitely possible to make some kind of movable wizard cage. Probably need to use some entities to distract the main head, so it doesn't shoot any blue skulls, and come up with some kind of system to deal with the black skulls. I'm quite sure it's possible to move a wizard around, but it might not be feasible to make a nice system that actually does something useful. So break any obsidian in a way. My idea would have been that we would have a wizard cage every third block, and then basically just have a tileable system. Alright, so I quickly made this video to not give you any illusions about the usefulness of a reinforced Deepslate wizard cage, because first of all, this will probably be fixed that it's movable, and there's also some other issues that make it not as simple as just encasing a wizard in blocks and pushing it around to get a movable wizard cage. Still saying it's definitely possible to move a wizard around, and also doing it reliably if you use additional entities to distract him. But yeah, it's definitely not as easy as just sticking him in a block. Okay, so that's it for today. Thanks guys for watching, and see you next time. Bye bye.